Okay, so today I'll show you how to account for how to enter an adjusting journal entry when a company pays for. So on April 1, April 1, they paid 6,240 for 2 years of insurance, right? So we're looking to adjust the journal entry on December 31, 16. Okay, so if you count this from April to December, that is a total of 9 months, right? So if it changed 9 months, and okay, so the original entry, right, would be cash and then expense. So insurance expense of 6,240. So this is what they entered on April 1, right? So the expense is a debit, and the cash was a credit because you're losing cash. So on December 31, the adjusting the adjusting entry is what do you want to debit? Well, you're gonna want to debit the expense, right? So that's the expense. And if you're gonna credit the expense, then what are you gonna debit? You're going to debit okay, so they paid 6,000 for insurance for 2 years or 24 months. And if you do 6,240 divided by 24, you get you get $260. So that's how much they're paying a month for the insurance. So if it's been 9 months, that means that they've used 2,340, right? But since they already expensed the entire thing on April 1, this is not the number you're looking for. See, this was my mistake. My mistake was that I thought they were looking for how much insurance have they used up till now, but that isn't what they're doing. Because the expense, what you're crediting, you're not going to be crediting what you've used, you're crediting what you haven't used. And so it will be 3,900, or the 6,240 times 15 over 24, this is the amount of expense not used. And the reason as to why you're looking for the reasoning why you're looking for this number instead of 9 over 24, which equals that, is because the original problem, they already expensed the entire payment, right? So you're not going to be crediting what you've used, you're crediting what you haven't used. And so what you're going to debit, well, you can't debit cash, you're not getting back cash. You're going to debit prepaid expense. So I'll do it on this new page. You are. So it'll be prepaid. Oh, prepaid insurance. And and then you'll be crediting insurance expense of 3,900, and this is 3,900. How did I get 3,900? Well, okay, so they paid 6,240, right, on April 1. You times this by 15 over 24, because remember I said from April 1 to December is 9 months. That's how much insurance they have used. What we're looking for is the amount of insurance they have not used but have paid for already. Because, so this equals the coveted 3,900. Now, why is it 3,900? Why isn't it 2,340? Since this is the amount that they have used, not used. Well, so let's look back onto this problem, right? The original thing was insurance expense of 6,240. They debited that, and then they paid cash 6,240. So coming back 9 months later, their prepaid insurance left is 3,900, and their insurance expense that they're getting rid of is 3,900. Because the original expense was the full payment, right? It's so hard to explain this. Okay. So this was the full pay, not used. Okay, so this is what they paid for the insurance as a whole. This was what they haven't used, or 15 months of insurance, and this is 9 months of insurance, or the amount of insurance that has been used. So we gotta look at what is prepaid insurance. Prepaid insurance is a normal debit account. Normal debit account that says how much insurance you've paid for already but haven't used. And so you're gonna debit prepaid insurance of 3,900 because how much insurance has been prepaid? 3,900, right? Why is it 3,900? Because that's the amount that hasn't been used, which is the same thing as prepaid insurance. Prepaid insurance is insurance that has been paid but not used, so it's prepaid, which is 3,900. If this is a 3,900 debit, then what are you crediting? You're crediting the insurance expense of 3,900 when the original journal entry was 6,240. So basically, it's 6,240 minus this. So this was the original expense, right? You're gonna credit 3,900. So what you're left with is a 2,340 debit of insurance expense. And this is right because the normal account for expenses is a debit, right? And how much have you used? You used 6,240 times 9 divided by 24, because April to December is 9 months, which is 2,340. So if this is what you originally played and it was a debit, and this is the adjusting, which was a credit, then you're left with the debit insurance expense of 2,340, which matches what you have used, and thus this is the final adjusting entry. So what I thought was that it was prepaid insurance of 2,340 and insurance expense of 2,340. But if you think of it like that, then that means you're saying they have 9 months left of insurance when they have 15. So it is confusing, but once you understand it, you get it. And this was a 10-minute video, so yeah. Thanks for watching. Good night.